Welcome to my channel. So today's topic of discussion is bridges and safety of bridges and the port authorities that deal with this. Recently, we had a bridge failure in Baltimore, in America, and America is really good at solving these types of errors. We solve errors like this faster than any other country. One of the reasons we've grown so quickly and so prosperously is because we solve errors. We solve it in construction, sewer, uh, gas lines, just safety in general. We improve our safety structures over time. That does not mean that we're perfect. It just means that every time somebody dies, we know can't have that happen again. Let's change it. Let's make something better. Let's improve it. And so America is very good at utilizing its resources to reduce damage to populations. Well, the Baltimore Bridge is a big error. A big ship with a lot of cargo, even if it is empty, hit that bridge's pylon and collapsed the bridge and killed people. And we don't want that. We don't want to have to demolition the bridge. We don't want to have to reconstruct the bridge. We don't need all the downtime for the laborers that are coming to and from for jobs and work. The inconvenience to society is pretty dramatic. And there's a couple of ways to solve this. And I think the cheapest and easiest one is to use tugboats to guide vehicles around bridges. The tugboats are already there. It improves jobs, makes more jobs for tugboat operators. Safety. The other one is to produce shields for the pylons, guided shields for the pylons, where if a boat hits the guided shield, it kind of deflects off. I think that would be a good option also. It should be installed, but it needs to be independent of the actual bridge pylon itself. It needs to be dramatically independent of that because those ships weigh a lot. And mass times velocity equals force or something like that. Mass times acceleration equals force. Maybe that's the correct term. But regardless, that amount of mass moving at that velocity, hitting that deflector may not stop. The deflector may not stop the ship because they weigh so much. They have so much mass. It's very hard to deflect that kind of mass. So that may not be the best option, but it would be cheaper to use the deflector and the tugboat and not have this error ever again. It creates jobs. I like it. And this is good for the rest of the world. The rest of the world needs to know this too. They need to pay attention to what we're about to do to solve this error, because when we solve an error, it gets solved. Like we solve it. We put the best brains that we have available from all the countries we've ever gained people from, and somebody comes up with a solution. And if it's not the right solution, eventually we'll get to a solution that's better. I've been in a scenario where a boat has actually struck a pylon in San Francisco on the Bay Bridge. And we were running a triathlon at the time, and we were housed in San Francisco. And the pylon that the boat struck would have stopped us from going back to San Francisco if the bridge had been damaged from Treasure Island. So the boat leaked diesel fuel, so it got damaged badly enough to leak diesel fuel from hitting the pylon or the safety deflector shield around the pylon. And it canceled one portion of our triathlon and turned it into a duathlon, because it should have been a swim, bike, run, and it turned into a bike and a run. So nobody could swim in the water because there's diesel oil contaminating it, and there's nothing that we could do. So I've been in that scenario where a bridge has been struck by a boat, a very large boat, and there's a big to-do about it. And what they found out was the captain, the operator, was trying to save X number of dollars by changing his route a little bit because they consume so much fuel to move so much mass. It'd be cheaper to have a tugboat operator push the boat away from the pylon. Period. Doesn't matter. Port authority and the safety of the port and the safety of the people is one of the top priorities for the United States government, is to protect the people and the ports. It's our job. It's protecting commerce is one of the largest jobs that the American government has. So to make sure nobody stops working and everybody can keep being valuable and useful. The Baltimore Bridge collapsing is a tragedy. Absolute tragedy. People died in that. And I don't even know what the numbers could possibly be to replace that bridge, or how the company that hit the bridge gets sued and makes America whole again. The value of the cargo of that vessel and the value of that vessel doesn't even come close to the amount of value that we just lost because of that bridge. So there's no way that the vessel and its whole cargo contents is anywhere nearly as valuable as keeping that bridge operational or those people alive. There's nothing. There's no cargo that's worth more than human life. None. So the Port Authority is going to have to create new rules and regulations about how to make sure vehicles safely move around large structures like bridges, because we just that can't happen every day. So they got to fix it. And we're really good at that. We're really good at fixing things. We're really good at solving problems. That does not mean we're the best. It doesn't mean that we have the best systems. America has plenty of errors. Highway 1, California, between Monterey and Los Angeles, that road is terrible. Every year it washes out. Large portions and sections of the road fall into the ocean because of erosion or heavy rains or fires or whatever. And it would be far cheaper to restructure the face of the highway on the downhill slope or to reroute the road. But it would take away the scenic view and reduce a bit of tourism. Not that big of a deal. Again, the value of the road is not worth the value of one human life lost. It's cheaper to reroute the road. It'd be cheaper to rebuild the structure of the road so that way it can't blow out. It'd be far cheaper to do all that than lose one human being because of a known failure of the road. Some things are out of our control. The whole mountain slides out. There's nothing you can do about it. You can reinforce that thing with as much steel as you want. The mountain does not care. It will slide out. It'll slide out. Once it gains momentum, it's done. It's going into the ocean. So rerouting the road is actually the better option, but I can't force California to see that logic. So there are improvements that we can make. There are things we can do to make our society better. And that bridge is in Baltimore is a critical identifier of a failure. And now that we've identified it, we have the option, we have the opportunity for a solution. And a lot of bright minds are going to work on it. And again, my personal take on it is to make the deflector shields that are independent of the pylon, and then also have tugboats keep the vehicles away. And just, they're tugboats. They sit on bridges. It's their job to sit on bridges and make sure nobody hits them. That's their job. A brand new job. Didn't exist before. And tugboat operators get paid. Great. A lot of money. Getting paid just to make sure our bridges are safe. I think that's worth it. Definitely worth it. So if you have any ideas or you want to post comments below, just leave them below. Let's start this proper discussion. We accept opinions from every country, and we'll take the best opinion and check it for factual accuracy as America, and we'll go through it and find out what's the best idea, and then we'll execute the best idea, because America, that's what we do. We don't claim that we're the best for these things. We take the best of everyone's stuff and use it to our advantage. That's the difference between America and every other country in the world, is we're not going to sit there and say, oh no, that's a different country's idea, we don't want to use it. Doesn't work like that here. We take all your ideas and our scientists break it down and figure out what the best idea is, and then we execute that idea, or the thing that's the closest at the lowest cost to the best idea. If we can't do it economically, we find a way to do it economically. So there you go. Have a great day.